Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird with Blackbird Grimoire. Welcome to the daily forecast for Monday, July the 8th, 2024, on this day of the moon, otherwise known as the Day of the Goddess. We have a waxing crescent moon. We are in Cancer season. The Celtic tree month of Holly begins today. We are still in woodpecker season. And of course, we have the ongoing retrogrades of Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto. So let's talk about the month of Holly. Holly is known as the ruler within the Celtic tree zodiac. It falls upon those who are born between July 8th and August 4th. It has a sign that is regal, that is ambitious, and it has a natural inclination towards success in everything that is attempted. And if you happen to be a Holly, apparently according to the system, you are most compatible with Ash and Elder. However, it's also appropriate to think of Holly at this time of year because we just passed the solstice, and that is when traditionally the Holly King has defeated the Oak King. I was reading something on Pinterest the other day where people actually had it mixed around. But in case you came across that, no, it is the Holly King that rules from the summer solstice to the winter, where he is taking. Then at that time it is the Oak King that takes over. So let us see what the month of Holly brings for us. So remember to straighten up that crown. I do like Holly just because it is a bit more compatible with my own zodiac sign of Leo. Leos are known as the monarchs of the traditional zodiac, and so the Holly has a little bit of that energy built in as well, and it slightly overlaps with the traditional astrological system of when Leo does begin, even though it doesn't last through the whole of the sign of Leo. But that's just a few reflections. I'd be interested to hear from you what you think about that. Now, speaking of astrology, the sun is in Cancer, cardinal water, representing intuition. The moon is first quarter Leo, fixed fire, representing enthusiasm. Mercury is in Leo, fixed fire, representing ideals. Venus is in Cancer, cardinal water, representing frugality. Mars is in Taurus, fixed earth, representing purpose. Jupiter is in Gemini, mutable air, representing questing. Saturn is retrograding Pisces, mutable water, meaning to redefine dreams. Uranus is in Taurus, fixed earth, representing renovation. Neptune is in retrograde Pisces, mutable water, representing spiritual awakenings. And then Pluto is retrograding in Aquarius, fixed air, meaning to examine intentions. And then, of course, our retrograde reminders for Saturn: reevaluate goals, reconsider commitments, reclaim authority. For Neptune, reimagine dreams, reclaim a sense of mystery, reclaim faith and magic. And for Pluto, reclaim the ability to regenerate, reconsider what deserves your energy, release attachments that do not serve. And then, of course, as a reminder for the waxing crescent, planning, brainstorming, creativity. This is the best way to use the moon phase. And then for the Leo moon, that leading, performing, being artistic, while avoiding depressing environments, unappreciative people, and detail work. And I realize how difficult that may be here on a Monday, because so many jobs that, they pay the bills, they serve that purpose, but they are conducted in depressing environments. You are surrounded by unappreciative people, and you're probably doing some mind-numbing detail work that you probably question, what could any company possibly have a use for this at all? So if that is you, love, lots of love today. It's difficult. I've had to do those kinds of jobs myself. I don't miss them. And just try to cope as best as you can, and try to really make the most of your evening. Shed off those vibes that you carry home from work. Get rid of those as quickly as you possibly can. Refocus on your family, your pets, your home environment, getting comfortable for the evening. Whatever helps create a sense of psychological separation. Because especially if you are in a job that but this is not exactly your life's purpose, it is very important to have ironclad boundaries between work life and home life in order to make sure that you have the fortitude to carry on with the work. Now, for the day of the moon, we know that Leo is ruled by the sun and Cancer is ruled by the moon. And today they are exactly switched because we do have the Cancerian moon. We do have the lunar Leo. So it is an interesting kind of counterbalance. It's their shadow side, if you will. So take note of how your senses are processing information if you experience a change of perspective, or if you feel that you're having to navigate things, especially spiritually, in a slightly different way and take a different approach than you would ordinarily, just because it's just that time of year when they are just in each other's other pockets. So explore that and see what you observe, and share those observations with me. I'd be very curious. Now, for today's tarot card, it is death. Its keywords are end, mortality, destruction, and corruption. Now, to reassure anyone who perhaps has stumbled onto this channel for the first time or who is unfamiliar with the tarot, it is very seldom that the death card represents literal death. More often, it is about endings. It is about very definite, one chapter ended and another chapter is about to begin. It's about something that is non-negotiable, something that, whatever the situation is as a result of it, that is the situation and you can't go backwards. But it's also worth remembering that death is the shadow of life. It is always coming. It is the most unmovable ending. So perhaps contemplating what endings are coming to us now. And I don't want this to be a dreary or, goodness knows, not a morbid intellectual exercise. This should be more in the sense of what is coming to a conclusion and what comes after that. Because once something, a door is firmly closed, that opens up a realm of possibilities for everything on the other side of that. No, you can't go back. No, you're not going to return to your previous set of options, but you are emerging into a brand new era of very different options, and making decisions about how you might make use of those new resources will be very helpful to you. Now, today's Celtic triad, it reads three hatreds that last forever between a mate and their stepchildren, between dogs and swine, between Kimry and Saxon. So, step families, as many people know from firsthand experience, they face very special challenges, and it can be difficult to honor the commitment of family when that family is not necessarily bound by blood. And this can even happen in cases of adoption, too, although it's not as common, just because when people do adopt a child, they had to go through great lengths in order to make that happen. It's not an easy process, it is not a cheap process. It's not a fast process. So there's a little bit, they are much more psychologically prepared and their hearts tend to be a lot more open. Whereas with step families, as sometimes two adults meet, they really hit it off, things go very well between them, and they fit well together. But having the family fit well together is that's not so easy. So hopefully it will not end in hatreds that last forever. But just be aware. Don't ignore the realities of your situation if this happens to be you. Just make your choices accordingly. And then dogs and pigs, they are very fine creatures, both in their own way, not necessarily compatible companions. And really thinking about this in terms of principle, there are some people who are of good character, they're perfectly nice people, but you put them together in the same room and there will be blood. You just cannot have them side by side. And acknowledging that and trying to stop forcing people into, I mean, you can request for people to be civil, but if you are testing people too far past their point of endurance, you are really creating needless hostility and creating situations that don't need to exist. So that's something to bear in mind. And then the last bit between Kimry and Saxon. In modern terms, that's essentially Welsh versus the English. I mean, yes, Kimry also referred, I believe, to Cornwallians and Bretons and so forth. But generally, we are thinking Welsh versus English. And of course, thankfully, there isn't as much active antagonism between those peoples as there once was. But they are genetically different peoples. They're culturally different peoples, different languages, lots of different differences, and it doesn't always gel very well. And sometimes it's just the way that it is. And I suppose that's the real message of this triad, of just accepting that some things are not going to come together in this idealized, happily ever after kind of way. You are going to have to learn how to navigate it very carefully. So, something to think about. Now, for today's magical intention, it is calm. I had a lot of different things I could have chosen because the color of the day was white, according to our calendar. And I could have gone a lot of different. Today we are going to need calm. So that's what I went with, and the color is white. The plant is the jasmine. Of course, you can also make use of jasmine through tea. That's probably the easiest way. The animal is the koala, which I realize for most of us, we don't have any koalas, certainly not nearby. But if you're wanting to connect with that animal spirit, maybe perhaps focusing upon a picture of it would help you to do so. And then the crystal for calm is selenite. Selenite is a very beautiful cleansing crystal. For a quick, easy peasy cleansing of your ordinary crystals, you can put selenite in amongst them prominently and give it enough time. It just freshens everything up. But meditating with selenite, that can also take a lot of the icky out of your system. And this leads me to what I really wanted to drive home about this is that calm can be cultivated. It doesn't matter if it doesn't come to us naturally, and we don't have to wait for it to spontaneously manifest, particularly if it is not necessarily our nature to be calm. I have somewhat of an intemperate disposition. So calm is something that I've always seen as something that I make rather than something that I have. And for those of you who have that, you're awesome. That is fantastic. You are not giving your nervous system the wear and tear that a lot of other people are. But if you happen to be like me and calm is just not something that really comes naturally to you, maybe take today when you are meditating to try to infuse that into your being, letting go of anxieties and not assigning them greater importance than what they have. And just refresh yourself. Give your nervous sense a chance to rest and recover. Now, for today's practice, it's Monday, so that's Lunar Deities Days, also a good time to work on sacral chakras. And then for the contemplation, what aspect of your moon sign do you not relate to? We're going to be doing this all week. The week before, we're talking about ways in which our various signs really resonate with us. And now we're looking at things that do not resonate and then hopefully exploring why to figure out why that might be. Is it just a part of yourself that is there that you're uncomfortable with? Or is it something that, you didn't get that particular aspect of that particular sign and just understanding the difference. Also, reading up on mer folklore, and this would be a good time to consecrate rather magical jewelry. Now, for our journal prompt, write about any notable dreams, significant meditations, or otherworldly nudges you have felt since the sun moved into Cancer. The Cancerian sun very strongly heightens intuition, so you might be receiving a lot of different dreams. I know that I've had a very active and much more memorable dreamscape of late. Perhaps you have as well, and if you are, you're not alone, and this is your little poke to investigate that a little bit further. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you will come back tomorrow for the next edition. In the meantime, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Bye.